I'm gay. Here I am. So my name is Khoa. I am obviously gay. Let me just talk about my own story of not being gay first, just to give you some perspective of who I am and the lens of why and what I'm talking about. So I am a native of Philadelphia. I moved here in about 2003 to go to school here at CCM at UC, so I studied music. I'm a classical trumpet player. And then I went back and did an MBA, and that made my mom happy. She was like, how are you gonna make money playing music? And I wasn't going to. So I went back to school, did an MBA, did an MA Arts Administration. I was working for Cincinnati Opera doing fundraising and PR. And then I wasn't making money there either. Arts nonprofit, not a good way to go. So now I work for a design firm, and I work in account management, and I work with our Jim Beam Global account. So I work on designing, I don't design, I manage projects, and we design bottles for alcohol, which is pretty cool. I like to drink, who doesn't? And so I get to do that at work. Have you ever watched Mad Men? They smoke, drink, and have sex at work. Cut out the smoking and the sex, and that's what I do at work. It's pretty cool. So, I'm here to talk about being gay. And it's my story, and so everybody else's story might be different. And so I can only tell from my own perspective and what I've gone through. So you might talk to someone else who's gay, and they might have a different story or a different perspective, and that's cool. But, so I think the best way to start is probably talk about my coming out story. So I grew up in a small town outside of Philly. Not many Asian people, all white people. I was probably like one of, 5 Asian people period in my high school. Fine. There's maybe like 2 people that we thought were gay. I wasn't one of them, actually. I feel like I'm a pretty even-keeled person in terms of femininity versus masculinity. I'm kind of middle of the road. When I'm around a lot of gay people, I act more gay. When I'm around straight people, I act more straight. So I was never thought of as being gay. And I went through high school and college, and I dated girls. Probably wasn't fair to me to date them when I thought I was gay. But I dated girls. I never had sex with a girl because I couldn't. It didn't work for me. Literally, it didn't work. There was a lot of angst in relationships I had with women because we never had sex, and they thought, is it me? And I'm like, no, I want to wait till I'm married. That story didn't last for very long, obviously. So I moved to Cincinnati to do grad school, and I was around so many musicians and so many people of other thought processes and whatnot. So I had a lot of gay friends, and I started to think about my own life and what I like and what I want to like, and I said, I think I'm gay. So I experimented a little bit, and I found out that's what I wanted. So the next step was, how do I tell my friends? How do I tell my family? We're led to, growing up through media, through family, like my mom says, you're gonna find a girl and get married, have kids, and then I'm gonna move in with you. No, hell no. My father passed away when I was in middle school, so it's just my mom, sister, and an older brother. And so in my head, the easiest way to start coming out to my family was first to my sister, because she's a year older than I am, she's progressive. So her and I were on a trip to New York one Christmas. We're sitting at this little Italian restaurant in Little Italy, and I got the courage to say it. So I said, hey, I need to tell you something. And I just had this look on my face where she knew something was like up. And she goes, did you get some girl pregnant? I'm like, no, I'm gay. She's like, oh, well, I know this club downtown that has a gay night tomorrow for Asians. And this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not what I expected. Like, let's slow down here. I'm gay, and that's it for now. I don't want to go to any gay clubs with you and do bad stuff. So she was really great about it, and it actually brought us closer together in a lot of ways, because I was not hiding any part of myself to her, because for a long time I lived my life as Khoa, the straight man, for a long time, and hid myself from her. So anyway, so a year later comes around, and she's like egging me on to tell my mom. I'm like, this is not easy for me. Like my mom, I'm the youngest born. as any like male in an Asian family knows, there's a lot of pressure on like what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to live your life. And I wasn't gonna be marrying a girl, having kids for my mom. The grandkids were not in the picture, obviously. Two men can't have babies, just so you know. So at that time I was dating someone, and I decided that I wanted to buy a condo because I had a good job, and there was $8,000 that the government was gonna give me for being a first-time home buyer. So I said to my mom at Christmas, hey, so I wanna buy a condo. Might you maybe help me out with the down payment, maybe? And she's like, oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. And then I said, yeah, and you know, the mortgage is not gonna be that bad. She's like, oh, good, because I'm not gonna be living alone. She's like, oh, roommate. No roommate. She's like, oh, girlfriend, bangay, huh? No, my boyfriend, I'm gay. And it was just total silence. She was like, huh? Before I told her, I played it through my head 80 times of how it could plan out. And this was actually one of them, except for one thing, and I'll tell you in a few seconds. But anyway, so she was like, I don't understand. You don't act like a girl. And I said, no, I don't act like a girl, but being gay isn't about acting like a girl. Being gay means that I want to love a man. I want to be in a relationship with a man. It doesn't make me want to be a girl. Because in her head, she saw Will and Grace. Two guys that are very effeminate. You know, they're your sassy gay queens. I can be that sometimes, but generally not. So for her, it was a disconnect. I'm not effeminate, so I'm not gay. So she wasn't quite understanding that. I kept on saying to her, you know, there's a whole range of personality traits and character traits for any of us. You know, you have tomboys, girls, they're not lesbians. They could be, but that doesn't mean they're a lesbian. So we go through this, like 5 minutes of talking about this, trying to just convince her. She was almost in denial that I was gay. She thought I was just joking because I don't act a certain way. But then she's finally, okay, well, that's okay. If you're happy and, you know, that's what you want, then I'm happy for you and I love you still, which obviously made me break down in tears because I was so happy that she was accepting of me. But then she asked me, how do you have sex? What? I'm sorry. That did not play out in my head of scenarios of how this coming out story was going to happen to my mom. How do you have sex? Well, Mom, one of us puts our penis in the other guy's ass. That was not going to come out of my mouth. So I said, we don't have sex. We do everything else up to that. And to this day, I actually don't know. I don't know whether my mom thinks that I and my partner don't have sex or all gay men don't have sex. Because how I phrased it, and so we haven't talked about it since. But in her head, we don't have sex, so fine. I'm not going to go down that road with her ever, ever, ever. So that was 5 years ago that I came out to my mom, and she is supportive, but we don't talk about it. It's kind of a non-topic. And part of it is, I think, on her, and part of it's on me. I think with any relationship, you know, you have to make, it's a two-way street, communication. So I need to talk about it more with my mom and be more comfortable with it, and she has to do the same thing. As for the rest of my family, I have like 8 aunts and three uncles on like California, Texas, and Wichita. And so the only times I see them are funerals and weddings. And I don't want to take that opportunity to like shine the light on me and come out and take it away from someone who died or someone who got married. So to my aunts and uncles, I'm straight and I'm focusing on my career. Because whenever I see them, it's, do you have a girlfriend yet? No, I'm focusing on my career. So to them, I'm straight. And to my cousins, they're on Facebook, so they see that I'm gay. In terms of like my friends, it was, I gotta say, probably the easiest coming out. I was in the arts community. They're all gay anyway. They all assumed I was gay probably from years ago. Really easy. So I never really had any problems of support with my friends and whatnot. There was gonna be a video next, but I don't know if it's gonna. Okay, there's no video. So this video is going to talk about this guy who does drag. I don't know if you're familiar with drag. So it's a guy who dresses up in women's clothing, and they do shows. And so this guy, he's actually Chinese. He's not Vietnamese. He lives in Toronto. He's not American either. So I guess none of it's relevant here. But he talks about how his family, he's not come out to his parents because there's so much shame that he thinks might happen. And I thought the same thing, but I came out and everything was okay. It's only 2:37. So actually, I forgot I put the slide in here. So go ahead and click once. So Asians comprise like 5.6 of the US population, according to the 2010 census. Click. So as of April 2011, this is a rough study, but approximately 4% of Americans, adults, identify as LGBT. So LGBT is lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And then click another again. So I did a little math. So approximately 0.22% are Gaysian, which makes me feel like this small. That small. I don't know why I put that in there. I just wanted to figure that out on my own. So next slide. So no fats, no femmes, no Asians. So I guess a part of what I was asked to talk about today was how being Asian and gay intersect. And I think the place where this really comes to light is in the dating scene, in relationships. There was going to be a video after this also. It's not going to happen. That's all right. Keep it on there, it's fine. So in my experiences, back to one slide. Sure. I'm going to sit here. I don't feel like standing. So in my experiences of dating, it's been kind of shitty, honestly. Cincinnati is a pretty white community. Dating in any genre, straight or gay, it's probably might be similar. Lots of white people, and they just want other white people. And so Latinos, gays, Latinos, Asians, and black people are kind of like left for people who find us like as a fetish. So there was a slide before that had the saying rice queen on it. A rice queen is someone who likes Asian people. And so I found that if anybody liked me, it was because I was Asian and not because I was Khoa. And that was pretty tough. And it still is pretty tough. Like, it shouldn't matter that I am Asian or not Asian. If someone likes me, they should like me for me. What is it? Christina Aguilera has that song, "You Are Beautiful." I mean, she's right. You're beautiful. Doesn't matter like what you are. I'm going to make you guys cry by the end of this. No, I'm joking. I had no idea what I was going to say today. They're like, talk about being gay and Asian. I don't know what they're talking about. So, so there are dating websites for gay people, and there's also, this is insight you might not want to know about, there's like hookup websites. So the gay community is very promiscuous, and they're a lot more open about it probably than the straight community. So we have websites we go to for booty calls, essentially. And you have a profile on there, and a lot of people on the profile will say what that last slide said: no fats, no femmes, no Asians. Makes me feel like not wanted, and it's kind of shitty. Anyhow, I'm not trying to make a pity party on me, because I actually have a boyfriend now, and I love him, sort of. I mean, we just started dating, so I don't know if I should say love yet. He wants to move to Afghanistan. That's a whole nother workshop. But he likes me for me. He doesn't like me just because I'm Asian. He likes that I am Asian, obviously, but I feel like it's rare to find that in a city like this. We're in the Midwest. It's really white here. If you go to Chicago, if you go to San Francisco, if you go to New York, I think it's a lot different story. There's a lot more Asians, so it's a lot more people around. I feel bad people are falling asleep. Oh, just joking. Joking. So there's a lot more ethnicity, obviously. So here it's just lots of white people and then a few Asians. 2:42. So the next thing I was going to talk about was this guy here. So Khoa Nguyen, he's a writer. He wrote this article about what I'm talking about. So the gay world has a mixed relationship with race because LGBTs are a historically oppressed minority. You would think we'd easily accept each other, but the gay male community is predominantly white. So this is clear that it's time for gay men to really embrace a more universal, and I can't read the rest, a more universal vision of beauty, one that appreciates every color of our rainbow. That's kind of sappy, including rainbow in there. It was an article that really hit home with me. I was like, this is what I live. So there is opportunity within the gay community to be more accepting, just like there probably is in the straight community. I don't know if I've not dated in the straight community that much because I only dated like 3 girls, so I don't know. But I would think it might be pretty similar. Next slide. So I also wanted to touch upon like support and advocacy as a gay person or as a straight ally, where you could go for help, where you could go to talk to people. I'm not sure if you've heard about like bullying and teen suicide. There's actually been a lot of teens that have committed suicide specifically because they were taunted or bullied for being gay, or maybe for thought of as being gay. If you want to, oh, she's gone. That's okay. That was a video. Rex Lee, he is the dude from Entourage, the Asian secretary dude. Does anybody watch that show, Entourage? He's hilarious. He's Asian. It was a video of him talking about GLAAD. So, what's that? Oh, that's fine. Just keep on there, it's fine. Oh no, the last one. Thank you. And he was doing a video on GLAAD. So anyhow, I just wanted to go through some of these different ones. So Human Rights Campaign is probably the largest one. I'm sure you've seen that equal sign somewhere, right? And you probably wondered what the F is that? Is that like a math club or something? That's really cool. No, it's actually the largest LGBT rights group on the federal level. So they fight for the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell just happened a couple, like last year. DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, those kind of things. They fight for LGBT rights on the federal level. And I actually am on our local steering committee here, and I work with HRC on fundraising and whatnot on the local level to get money so that we can support gay friendly people into Congress. PFLAG is actually an organization for the parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays. So that's an organization for people that aren't gay, but who have friends or family that are. And that's, I don't know if you've ever watched the show Queer as Folk. Probably not, because it's a gay show. The mother character is really involved with PFLAG. GLSEN is an organization that's specifically catered towards education, which is pretty awesome. So their mission is to make sure that in high schools or in middle schools that there's education and awareness of what being gay is, where you can get help, and you're not alone kind of thing. GLAAD, gay, lesbian, I don't actually know what they do. So we're gonna gloss over that one. Awesome. The Trevor Project, especially with all these teen suicides that came up, is a place for people to call and get help and have someone listen. And it gets better also kind of came out of that. So it gets better are all those videos, if you might have seen, of people talking about life getting better when you're older, targeting those teens that are struggling with how to be gay and struggling with the bullying and whatnot. Next slide. So within Human Rights Campaign, this is where the Asian part comes in. There's actually an effort to help be more inclusive of the gay community. So she is actually the chief diversity officer. She actually came here and spoke last year at our HRC dinner, and she's Vietnamese. She was born in Saigon and moved here. And her sole role is to make HRC and the gay community more inclusive through efforts that are targeted towards specific communities. And so I think that's really awesome that that's happening. As being a member of HRC and being on the steering committee here, it is all white people. And it's hard for them to understand and see what our challenges are as a minority group within a minority group. Because we're already a minority as a gay community. So it's hard for them to put that lens on sometimes. So to have this initiative, this effort to actually target that is great. If you want to go to the next slide. So here in Cincinnati, we don't have a specific gay organization for Asian people. This is an organization that I found that is an umbrella organization for all like these smaller groups that happen in like New York or San Francisco, that they actually do have groups that are specifically gay Asian. I've never been in one, I've never seen one because I live in Cincinnati and it's white bread. So you're shaking your head, so I'm assuming you're gay?
Yeah, I'm part of the organization in San Francisco for queer Asian American youth.
And that's, I couldn't even imagine being a part of that. It must be really cool. Yeah. I'm sure it is. So I guess at this point, I'm going to open the questions because I have nothing else to talk about. I feel really bad. I'm like, 20 minutes, done. I'm also like the last speaker, so I mean, you guys are like probably tired and want to like go drink. So.
So is there an effort to, I guess, unionize all like the Midwest communities, gay Asian community within the Midwest?
Yeah. So when I was looking at this website, they listed all the different gay Asian communities that I guess they could find, and there actually were some in Chicago, and I think they're a member organization of this larger entity. What unification looks like, I really don't know. I think they do like a conference, kind of like this probably. I haven't been to one, so I can't really speak to that. I'm curious, with your experience with the organization in San Francisco, what kind of things do you guys do?
It depends on what program that you're a part of. I'm mainly part of the Health HIV/AIDS Awareness Program.
Mm-hmm.
So we provide free and anonymous testing for anyone who comes into our clinic, as well as counseling for those who identify as transgendered or questioning or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
We provide free counseling.
Yeah.
And most of our work, like our main work comes when Gay Pride comes around. So we actually have a specific area for Asian Americans who identify as queer or question the lesbian faith. And
Yeah.
we bring in artists and whatnot to not only celebrate ourselves, but also to educate those who are coming to either visiting or identify as queer, gay, or not identifying as Asian American queer youth.
Mm-hmm.
About like our struggles within our intersection identities of being Asian and being.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. Any questions?
Just in general, how did you feel just bringing up the topic with your mother, especially? I know a lot of Asian Americans here, they're not as succinct with the language, or just it's a communicative,
There's a barrier. Sure.
So we're not as fluent with the language. So how did you feel, and were you as comfortable with the language to where you were able to discuss that with your mom, or how was that, especially?
I think maybe with a lot of families here, my mom speaks to me in Vietnamese and I speak to her in English.
Okay.
So I came out in English. And then she asked me how I have sex in English, but then the other parts of it she said in Vietnamese. So I don't think language was an issue necessarily in her understanding my coming out. I think it was more of her background and her understanding of culture. She's a simple person. I love her, obviously, but she doesn't really get out very much. She doesn't see much. So, like I said, her view of gay culture is TV. So that's the only place she sees gay people. She doesn't know anybody else that's gay. Well, she does actually. She doesn't know it. My cousins, I have 2 cousins that are gay. They're not out, but I know they're gay. I mean, talk about effeminate. I don't understand how they even ask him, how do you have a girlfriend? He's like, no, I don't have a girlfriend. I work at nail salon. Oh, no girlfriend. I'm like, oh my God, you people are blind. What the F? Whatever. I think it's ignorance is bliss. I think they want to be ignorant because it's just going to be easier for them. And like I said, the amount of times I see my aunts and uncles, it's not even really worth it for me almost to come out to them. And I feel horrible saying that. But I only see them like maybe once every few years. And anyway, maybe I'll come out with them eventually, or they can just figure it out on their own, which they won't. Or when I invite them to my gay marriage. Hey, this is my husband. He's not a girl. Just so you know. So I think with what you were saying, like, so I don't think it's a language thing. I think it's me having to educate my mom on what it means to be gay. And I have to do a better part of that myself. I haven't been doing very much because it's not easy. It's uncomfortable. Talking about gay sex with your mom is not fun. Or talking about HIV AIDS. Or talking about like, that I can't get married. Like I've said this to her before, I'm not allowed to get married, and she didn't quite understand that. I think she understands that, like, that I can't, she doesn't understand all the ramifications of me not getting married and what that means, that like I'm not recognized by X, Y, and Z institution. If I'm married, if I'm with my partner of umpteen years, I can't file my taxes jointly with him. I still have to file separately and all that jazz. Or if he ever gets sick, and he's in the hospital, they have rules on who can see them past what time. I'm not a family member. I'm not recognized as being his husband, so I can't visit him past 9 o'clock or something, those kind of things. Or health benefits, like when you sign your benefits for work and you want to do like a family plan or whatever you call it, I can't do that in certain states. He can't be on my plan because he's not recognized as my husband. So those kind of things, my mom doesn't quite understand. And like I said, it's about me educating her on that. So, any other questions?
So when you're dating within a scene where it's like majority is white folks, like how do you determine that if the person that you're dating is like only dating you because you're Asian, or how do you determine like they're dating you because of you, or they're dating
Yeah,
you
no, yeah.
fetish?
I ask about their dating history. And you can immediately see, like, if they're like, my last boyfriend was this, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, that's how I determine it, I guess. But I'll straight up ask him, like, are you dating me because I'm Asian, or are you dating me because you like me? Like, do you like Khoa, or do you like Khoa the Asian? And if they say, like, Khoa the Asian, then I might be turned off by that, or I might actually pursue it, depending on how desperate I am at the time. Let's be honest here. We all dated someone we don't really want to date, but we want to be with someone because it's cheaper sometimes. I want someone to pay for dinner for me, damn it. I don't have to pay the bill all the time by myself. I want a rich man. Who doesn't want someone rich? I mean, come on. I think it's still something I struggle with, though. And I'm dating someone right now, and all is good right now. But up till this point, like the past 2 years, I've been single, and it's been hard to. I probably went out on like 3 dates during those 2 years, and I'm not an undesirable person. I feel like. I mean, I brush my teeth, I clean my hair every once in a while. I mean, I'm educated, and and I'm not saying. Hypothetically, if I were a white man with all the same qualities and all the same things, would I be more desirable in the community? I kind of think I would be, but that sucks. Like that I have to like change who I am. So, yeah.
How do you think your coming out would have changed if your father was still around? Because
Yeah.
I think that would be more intimidating than just having.
No, no, totally. In many ways, aside from being gay, I'm who I am now because of my father's passing. And if he was alive, I don't know that I would have gotten a music degree, which probably means I wouldn't have been around as many gay people, which means I might still be straight right now if my dad was still alive, honestly. He was a very strict man. Like, he beat my sister because she got bad grades. Like, I mean, not actually beat her, but like, you know, like we all got spanked and shit, you know. I really do think if he was still alive, I would probably be straight, put them quotations, straight, you know, and I'd want to appease him and my family and be the son that he would want me to be. But because he passed away, my mom is a lot more lenient, and I'm the youngest, and so I'm kind of spoiled. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and she still loves me, so it was actually not that bad.
How religious is your family? Or I know religion plays a big role.
So yeah, that's actually an interesting question. I was raised Buddhist. We went to Buddhist temple like once a month maybe. So I don't consider myself religious, and I don't consider my family very religious, and so that actually didn't really play a factor in coming out. And honestly, I don't know if there are any Buddhists in the room. I don't really even know the Buddhist outlook on homosexuality. I have no idea. I've met many a monk who I thought were Buddhists. I don't know. It's all that. But I do have friends that are Catholic. A lot of Vietnamese people are Catholic, and it definitely, that played a whole nother role in them coming out, and I can't imagine struggling with that part of it, because you were led to believe for so many years that being gay is wrong. Being gay is a sin. You know, you're going to hell. And to reconcile that is really tough. And I guess thankfully I don't have to deal with that, I guess. But maybe I'm going to hell anyway. I don't know. I don't really claim to know where we're going to go after we die. Anyway, that was fun. I've never felt like that before, but I think I've also been fortunate in the circle of friends I have and the community that I'm in that I don't have to act a certain way. You know, when I go to the gay bars and stuff like that, I definitely see what you're talking about. Like, there's people that are, I feel like, acting a certain way because they think they have to act that way to be gay. You don't have to be sassy. You don't have to like go like that all the time. You don't have to lisp. You don't have to do anything to be gay. All you have, I mean, you're who you are. And I think a lot of younger gay men, and this is just me hypothesizing, it's easier for them to latch on to those stereotypes and those qualities of what we think a gay man is than just be themselves. So, it's a good question. Yeah. I felt bad. I felt.
Do you feel like you found out at the right time?
I think coming out later actually was easier for me than coming out earlier, just because of the support network I had. When I came out, I had a really strong support network of friends, and I couldn't have done it without them. And I think early in my life, I had friends, but they weren't as thick and tight as what I have now, and I don't think I would have handled it as well as I did when I came out. I came out when I was 25, which is late, I guess, but then I see kids coming out when they're like 5, and I'm like, how do you fucking know? Your penis doesn't even work yet. Like, I mean, I guess you can know because like you have, I don't know. That's maybe another conversation. I don't really believe that you can really know at 5. Like, what have you experienced to know that you like men? Or if you're a lesbian, you like women? I don't know. Anyhow, I hope that answered your question. Yeah, it definitely was like, I need to check it off the list to make sure I tried it. That sounded horrible. And so I did try to have relationships with women. It just didn't work. We just always end up just being friends, and then the whole sex part of it would kind of not make us happy because I couldn't have sex with her and she wanted to, and that's kind of awkward. But I don't regret dating the women that I dated. And I've talked to all of them, actually, since I've came out. And they actually all said, I had an inkling. I'm like, why didn't you tell me then? It'd be much easier if you just would have told me that they thought I was gay. We could have just, like, dispensed with all the crap that we went through. And all the crying and shit and, I hate you, whatever. Sorry.
You mentioned earlier that you had, I guess like other gay community members that you can turn to. So do you see any difference between your coming out story as an Asian American male, and like does it differ with your stories, the coming out stories of your white counterparts? Is there any like differences that you?
Because of being Asian?
Yeah.
Not really, but that's just my experience. I think there definitely are some other people that have an experience that was skewed because they're Asian and how that affected their coming out, but I don't really think it affected my mom being accepting of me, so.
So you said you grew up in like predominantly white communities, and then like the way you talk about being Asian is kind of like they don't really understand per se. Have you ever dated another Asian guy?
I have not, and a lot of people think that's pretty hypocritical of me not to date another Asian, but the kind of guys I'm attracted to a more masculine kind of guy, more kind of like me, even kind of just in the middle. And a lot of the guys around here, at least, that are Asian are more effeminate. I'm friends with some of them, but I could never date them. But I have had relations with other Asians before, if that makes. I've had booty calls with some Asians before, but not here. In other cities, and they were a lot more masculine, and that's why I liked them. I feel really like this is X-rated right now or something. I hope you all are okay with this. Like, this isn't like too awkward or anything. It's kind of awkward for me to talk about it, but you're just listening, so. But yeah, like I've found other Asians attractive, but it's not here, so. Next. No one?